It's on sale now at afterhoursinnsbrook.com.
Richmonders love Pella, Virginia, and it's easy to see why. Pella gives you more, so you can feel confident choosing us for your window and door projects. While other companies may offer just one or two options, Pella has a full range: wood, vinyl, and fiberglass, so you get quality and customization, not just a quick fix. When you choose Pella, we'll handle everything from order to installation. Right now, get 50% off qualifying installations or 0% interest for 60 months. Find out more at PellaVirginia.com. Some restrictions apply.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. Richmond, it's time to get your morning going. Super Bowl. Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick.
Struck him.
All live from the capital of the Commonwealth, where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now,
I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach.
live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz the Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Friday morning. It's 7-Eleven. It's Free Slurpee Day. It's a great Friday. It's a great Friday when that lands on a Friday. Welcome into Fitz the Bill. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us right here on 1061 ESPN. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside on this Free Slurpee Day. However you're listening, wherever you're listening, appreciate you making us part of your morning routine. ESPNRichmond.com. The ESPN Richmond app as well, available in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, or you could be watching on our YouTube stream. Just type in ESPN Richmond in the search bar, and we will pop right on up, and you can watch live and be part of the show right there on YouTube. While you're there, might as well hit subscribe, and you can also call or text in, as always, 804-327-0888. Today, great show. We've got Pat Jaggers coming up at 9:30 in hour number 2. He'll join us to chat some NASCAR, react to what was last weekend's Chicago street race, and look ahead to this weekend's race as well. So that's coming up at 9:30. We got Pat Jaggers from the Motor Racing Network. He'll be joining us in about an hour and a half or so. Between now and then, we want to hear from you. And between now and then, we've got a lot of talk to get through around Summer League, around NCAA tournament expansion or not expansion. We've got some chat around the NFL. Cody Benjamin of CBS Sports released his list of the top 25 worst coaching hires since 2000. And that's always fun to dive into. So we'll talk about that. And of course, in about 28 minutes, we'll have news or snooze. Alan, were you able to get a free Slurpee this morning on your way into work?
No, I don't stop by 7-Eleven on the way to work.
We got one right across the street. You going to get one after?
Yeah,
after
I usually get here with enough time to get in the door and get on
tea,
air.
Get your tea sometimes.
Yeah, and get my tea. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
The most important thing.
Yeah.
We saw Monday when there's no tea involved. That's like me and coffee. I'm two massive cups of coffee deep before we start the show, and then I've got my travel mug for the entirety of the show.
Mondays just in general are just rough. I don't know why. It's not like I do anything over the weekend. I just have a hard time adjusting to Mondays.
I am super excited for Mondays in football season. I am so excited. Now, I'm going to be tired because you got to stay up and watch the Sunday night games, and I've never done a morning show during the football season, so my body's going to have to get used to Sunday night staying up until like 12:30, but I'm so excited for Mondays in football season.
You know, I don't have a problem staying up for football. It's the basketball games and the baseball games where the next day is just like a struggle.
Probably because they lost in 11 innings last night.
Well, because they started like 10 on the legitimate West Coast time. We don't have a legitimate West Coast time for NFL.
Yeah, at the end, another reason why the NFL is the superior league.
Yeah, and then college, it doesn't matter because it's a Saturday night. So.
Exactly. Man, NFL's got it right. They don't have West Coast time. It's a primetime game. It's starting at 8:20. If that means it's 5:20 on the other side of the country, that means it's 5:20 starting on the other side of the country.
Better get off early.
Yeah, better get off early. They said we do everything around East Coast time, and we do not change for anyone. Meanwhile, MLB and the NBA's tipping off their NBA finals at like 9 p.m. And you're like, really? We're doing it this late?
Yeah, those 10 those legitimate 10:30 games. I'm like, come on, man.
Like last night, like the Braves, the first pitch, last night it was a little earlier.
Yeah,
but
last night first pitch was like 9:05.
But it went 2 innings extra longer.
Yeah. And if you're an East Coast baseball fan, it's still late, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's real late. You got a 3-hour game you got to buckle in for, and yikes. And then you fall 5-4 in 11 innings. Don't love to see that.
Yeah, well, I mean, what we've been doing all season.
What's the saying? It's setting up for the ultimate comeback. There's some saying that's like a cutesy saying around that, and then I completely forgot it. No. All right, let's update you what you may have missed overnight in the wide world of sports.
This is your Fitz the Bill morning update, getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
All right, so there was a pretty big summer league debut last night. Cooper Flagg made his summer league debut against the Lakers, an 87-85 Mavericks win. Flagg played 32 minutes, 10 points, 5 of 21 shooting, went 0 for 6 in the second half. He did have 6 rebounds and 4 assists as well. Bronny James nearly spoiled the debut, but he missed the game-winning 3-point shot as time expired. Also in the NBA, Pelicans forward Herb Jones signed a 3-year, $68 million extension. In NFL news, the 4th of July impacted the Chargers in a bad way. Their free agent running back signing, Najee Harris, sustained a, quote, superficial eye injury on the 4th of July. His agent told ESPN that the eye injury occurred during a fireworks mishap. He is not expected to miss the start of the NFL season. In the MLB, the Yankees were being no-hit through 7 innings, and they trailed 5-0. However, New York rallied, won in extras thanks to an Aaron Judge sacrifice fly. The Cardinals got an 8-1 win over the Nationals. The Orioles beat the Mets 3-1, then later on in the day, 7-3 in a doubleheader as they were making up a game that they had to postpone due to weather yesterday. And folks, don't look now, but the Baltimore Orioles have found a bit of a rhythm and are now just 8 games under 500. The Athletics got a 5-4 win in 11 innings over Atlanta. Atlanta is now 12 games under 500, but there is a silver lining. They gained a game on the New York Mets, mainly because the Mets played 2 games yesterday and lost one of them. So mathematically, they gained one. Pete Thamel was the first on it yesterday. The NCAA men's and women's basketball committees finished their meetings, and they made no decision. They also made no recommendation on tournament expansion. However, Dan Gavitt, the NCAA senior vice president of basketball, said in a statement, quote, "The still viable outcomes include the tournaments remaining at 68 teams or expanding the fields to either 72 or 76 in advance of the 2026 or 2027 championships. Thanks, Dan. You told us nothing." And that's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports overnight. We'll talk about NCAA tournament expansion in just a little bit in News or Snooze, because that quote is absolutely hilarious. The still viable outcome include the tournament staying where it is, maybe expanding, maybe for next year, maybe for the year after. We don't really know. Just a whole bunch of nothing. Now here's the question. We started the sports update with the summer league debut of Cooper Flagg. It was underwhelming. 5 of 21, just 10 points. And here's the question. Are we going to overreact to Cooper Flagg's summer league debut? Well, Cooper Flagg himself might be overreacting to his summer league debut. This is what he said after the game to Mike Curtis, the Mavericks beat writer for the Dallas Morning News.
The coaches, they had a lot of confidence in me. They would tell me they want me to, experiment, try some new things. I was trying to be aggressive. That's new for me too. I would say that might be one of the worst games of my life. But we got the win, so that's what really matters to me. My teammates, Miles, Ryan, Jordan, they held it down. They did what they had to do. So I'm just glad we got the win.
All right, man. It's all right. We don't have to overreact. Worst game of his life? It wasn't a good game, but I mean, Cooper Flag kind of beating himself up over the summer league debut. It's fine, man.
I'd imagine he doesn't have many days where he's like 5
He's
for
5
20
of 21
with 10 points. I don't think that's hyperbole. It probably is one of the worst games of his life.
But just chill out, Cooper. It's all right. This is summer league. It doesn't matter. He said it in the answer too. They had him experimenting new things, trying new things. Let's not have your confidence shaken any bit by your poor performance in summer league. It's all right, man. It's okay.
I mean, I could see, some of those elements he was talking about, like with the aggression and stuff like that. It's not in his DNA per se, but it's something that he'll have to do at times, especially given where he was picked, the expectations, and just the moments that you have at this level in the NBA. You got to have a guy that's willing to go for it and take it.
Yeah, he's going to have to change his game a little bit. But, I mean, in the summer league, maybe this is me just not putting like any stock whatsoever in summer league action, but this is about what I was expecting out of him in his first game. I also expect him to have a pretty rough first couple of months in the NBA when the regular season starts. There's going to be a learning curve. He's going to be very good, but there's going to be a pretty aggressive learning curve from playing in the ACC to playing in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I mean, I expected some better efficiency. One thing I will say from the jump, and I said this when he was in college, he's got to stop thinking he can dunk on everybody, man. He's a good athlete, but there's levels to athleticism, and he's probably like a B-level athlete in the NBA. NBA athletes are like really athletic.
Yeah, get the dunking out of your bag and let's try to work on some threes, mid-rangers, and baseline jumpers.
Yeah, not that you can't dunk, but like he tried to take off yesterday like he was Blake Griffin. I was like, dude, you got to cut that out.
Something he does got to work on is making sure he doesn't get locked up by Bronny James anymore.
Yeah,
like Bronny out here playing for an actual roster spot, though, because his dad might not be on the team here in a couple of weeks if he gets traded. And if LeBron ain't on the team, Bronny is going to be fighting for a roster spot.
Well, that was one of the sequences I was happy to see, though. Like, one, you're not going to be stronger and bigger than everybody else. In some aspect, you are because you're taller. But as far as like strength, like he's still relatively young, right? He came out early from high school to college, and he came out early from college to the NBA.
Yeah, dude is just turned 18.
Yeah, so you're not going to be stronger than guys in their early 20s and things like that. You haven't had the regiment they've had at the professional level. But what he did on the second possession after that, he just shot over him, just used his natural length and was like, I'll just pull up.
Yeah.
And that's, again, an adjustment he'll have to make, something you like to see. But yeah, we're not going to overreact because you had a poor shooting performance. I mean, it's the NBA, man. Like we see this from people that are 20-year pros,
I do love ESPN trying to frame it like in a positive way, his summer league performance. Their headline for it was like, an up and down first game performance from Cooper Flag shows that he has shot making ability or something like that. And it's just like, I mean, we can call it for what it is. It was a poor shooting performance where he was struggling at times, and that's okay. That is literally what the summer league is for. If we put too much stock in the summer league, we would think Ace Bailey is better than Cooper Flag right now because Ace Bailey's had a couple good games.
Yeah, now Edgecombe is the guy that you get excited about when you see him in summer league.
And then he has a sprained thumb now, so he'll be out for
which stinks. But if Cooper was if he was Edgecombe athletic with his natural ability, it would be crazy. But his learning curve is definitely going to be. I know this is probably going to make some people cringe, but I think it's got to be like Paul Pierce, because Paul Pierce could always, like, he developed finding his spots and getting his shots off no matter what, but he wasn't blowing by people, right? He had to kind of get to that point as a professional. And once he got there, he was a consistent, steady scorer and one of the best Celtics to ever come through. One of the best, not the best. One of the best Celtics to ever come through.
If you said the best, you would have,
man. I never put him over Larry Bird.
We would have a riot outside of our studios.
But I had to make sure I said it twice because sometimes people only hear what they want to hear.
Yeah, that's true. With Cooper Flag, way too early look. The Rookie of the Year odds. He's currently the odds-on favorite to win Rookie of the Year. I think that makes just about sense.
No, there's no other logical explanation to say that somebody else should be favored. Now, there's explanations and arguments to be had about who could win. But, odds makers, when they do preseason stuff, they're just going off of the the speculation and the projected potential.
And then based off where the money's coming in, all the money's probably coming in on Cooper. OKC just did something pretty impressive. OKC locked up their young core, their young trio, an SGA extension, a Chet Holmgren extension, and a Jalen Williams extension. It's a lot of money. It is a lot of money now tied up into those three players. But OKC might be uniquely equipped to work around it and set themselves up for years of success despite having a lot of money tied up in just three players. That's coming up on the other side of the break.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN. Streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147, or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
106.1 ESPN Traffic.
Traffic lights are malfunctioning at the intersection of Otterdale and Midlothian Turnpike. We are seeing some touch-and-go traffic heading north on 95 between 64 Merge and Chamberlain Avenue downtown. Beware of a crash on Hull Street just west of Richmond Highway and an accident on Darbytown Road east of Durand.
Hey, Richmond, this is Joe Simpson. There's only one place in the 804 to stay up to date on all things Atlanta Braves, and that's 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome back into Fitz the Bill. That money's right. That money is right. OKC, they got the third and final extension done yesterday. The Oklahoma City Thunder have locked up their young trio. SGA has signed a 4-year, $272 million extension. Chet Holmgren, 5 years, up to $250 million. Jalen Williams, he signed an extension, 5 years, $287 million. By the 2027-28 season, the Thunder are expected to be paying that trio $150 million annually. Wow. I mean, they're taking a page right out of the Boston Celtics book, who then had to blow it all up because they did not want to get anywhere close to the second apron. They got into the second apron this last year, and they did not want to do it in consecutive years because the way that the very confusing salary cap of the NBA is figured out, multi-time, back-to-back repeat offenders with going over the first apron, the second apron, whatever it may be, you get harsher penalties. And just so everyone's aware, because I consistently have to remind myself what the penalties are for every single thing. So you have the salary cap, which is $154 million. So by 2027, 2028, you can guarantee that the Thunder will be over the salary cap because they are paying $150 million to that trio starting in 2 years. So then it goes into the luxury tax. The luxury tax is anything over $187.9 million. And when you go over the luxury tax, you can be paying anywhere between $1.25 and $3 kind of taxed for every dollar that you are over the luxury tax. Then the first apron, keep up with it. They keep up with this. I mean, Alan, the NBA makes this super complicated, and you need a degree in finance to figure this stuff out. So the first apron is $195.9 million. If you go over the first apron, sign and trades are not permitted if the player acquired keeps the team above the apron. You cannot sign players who were waived during the regular season if they were making $12.2 million or more. And salary matching in trades has to be within 110% of the 125% teams in good standing get. What? All right, my head's spinning a little bit. And then the second apron is $207.8 million, and anything more than that, second apron is all of the first apron penalties. You cannot have your mid-level exception. You cannot trade first-round picks from 7 years out. You cannot use trade exceptions anymore. You cannot use cash considerations in trades anymore. And your first-round pick moves straight to the end of the first round if the team stays in the second apron for 3 of 5 years. What? All right, so my head is spinning a little bit. So OKC is going to likely find themselves in that second apron for years to come. And this is where the brilliance of Sam Presti comes into play. Because in 2027, 2028, you are paying that $150 million annually to that star trio, which is a lot of money, which means you've only got a little bit of money before you hit the second apron. You only got about $57 million you have to play with before you hit the second apron. And if you want guys like Alex Caruso, Kason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, you likely won't be able to re-sign all three of those. You likely won't be able to re-sign any of them. So what you're going to have to do is build through the draft still to get role players and other players to build around SGA and Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. And that is where the brilliance of their general manager, Sam Presti, comes into play, because he still has all of these draft picks. And those are so much more cost efficient for OKC than going out and signing a free agent. Now, OKC likely won't be 10 to 12 players deep. They'll likely be more like 7 to 9 players deep, give or take. But they're set up to have success in this new era. And if they are at the top of this because they've created this trio before they even stepped foot into the apron, they should have success, and they don't really care that much if their first round pick moves straight to the end of the first round because they've got everyone else's first round picks. So they can still play around with all of this. The brilliance of Sam Presti here, he saw 10 years ahead and he built for 10 years ahead, which is why it is so important for general managers to have job security. This is, you first look at the numbers and you go, oh my goodness, that is so much money tied up in 3 players. Now, is that a dangerous game to play? As we saw with the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum tears his Achilles and all of a sudden they kind of have to trade some things around, get rid of some big contracts to avoid the second apron. It is a little dangerous, but these guys are so young. You just won a championship with them. You have shown that you were able to scout very well. Kason Wallace was a steal. Aaron Wiggins was a steal. Jalen Williams was a steal. The other Jalen Williams is still coming into his own. What OKC has done may look like on paper they are putting themselves in a very tough spot, but Sam Presti has been preparing for this moment when they decided to kind of blow everything up with the Russell Westbrook trade, the Chris Paul trade, the Paul George trade back in like 2019, 2020. This is masterful, man. Because yeah, they're going to go into the second apron, but it's not really they aren't going to really take on a lot of big hits because of the amount of trades that they have made to accumulate draft picks, and they may not really need the MLE. They don't really want to trade first round picks from 7 years out, and if their pick goes from wherever it is straight to the end of the first round by being in the second apron for 3 of 5 years, that's fine because it probably already was going to be near the back of the first round. Masterful stuff from OKC. Now it's the big question around it. Can they win with those 3 guys doing the grunt work? Because this year, Alex Caruso was massive for OKC in the playoffs and in the NBA Finals. So can they now rely solely on SGA, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams? I think of another year of development as they move on. OKC is going to be a top-tier team in the West for years to come. Years to come.
It took them about, 3 years or so with SGA, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
Because Williams joined in 2022.
Yep.
And then Chet came
20
year before last because he got hurt.
23
he played last year. So, I mean, what you're anticipating is progression, of course, with guys this young. You already won a championship, so you can only anticipate that things will get better. I think one of the things not talked about when you build a team like this, when you have 3 guys that have been successful, stability in the OKC organization, things like that, you're going to attract guys like Caruso. You don't have to chase a Caruso. Like, heck, Caruso might even decide to stay and give you a discount just because at this point, it's like, I'm building my legacy, which obviously he's not going to be an all-time great, but getting the championships and playing in the big games is more enticing to some of these older guys, especially if they had a run where they didn't have that, right? Like, he was in Chicago. They were going nowhere, and he came from LA, I believe, where he had a championship run. So this, like, getting back to this position for him is probably more valuable than any amount of O's you can put at the end of his contract.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot more veteran minimum contracts, and you're not worrying about the MLE, the mid-level exception, or doing any of that. And then the craziest thing is, this is from a Twitter user named Gabriel Guzman. He put it, I love a good graph, folks. I love a good graph. He put it in graph form. They're not even flirting with the second apron after 2027, 2028, when they are paying $150 million annually to their star trio. They just are going to get right up to the tax. And then, of course, they'll probably go over it. But right now on the books, the only year that they go over the second apron is 2026, 2027. And they can get rid of some of those contracts. A big part of that contract, I believe, is Isaiah Hartenstein, who has a team option in 26, 27. You can cut him and you'd get under the second apron. You could cut him and get under the first apron. Like, they have set this up really well. Like, I don't think we realized, at least me personally, I did not realize Sam Presti was planning for this when this was happening in 2019.
Let's not give him but so much credit. You need some luck, especially when you're talking draft and prospects.
He lucked into trading for SGA and SGA becoming an MVP. Lucked into Jalen Williams being Jalen Williams and being very good. He did luck into that.
But his track record suggests he knows what he's doing. So,
I mean, Kason Wallace is a great role player. Aaron Wiggins, a very good role player. He's made the right trades. Drafted Kevin Durant in the Seattle Supersonics. I mean, he's got a really good track record. And yeah, he did luck into the fact that he landed SGA, Chet, and Jalen all within like a 3-year span. And so that they could all sign their extensions in roughly the same offseason or two. And he could shore up that core for the next 5 years.
And you take care of the business as soon as possible. Make it easy for everybody involved, right?
Yes.
Like, you hate for something like, contracts and stuff to come up 2 years down the road, and maybe you're potentially making another run, and now you got to deal with SGA maybe not wanting to come to camp and things like that, even though they don't often do that in the NBA. They can be vocal. It can get ugly sometimes. It's just a smart move to just get it done.
I did not expect them to get SGA, Chet, and Jalen all shored up in the same offseason, and two, just in general. I thought for sure one of them would have to walk. Also worth noting, none of them have a player option in their extensions. It's 4 years, it's 5 years, it's 5 years. There's no team or player option in these contracts.
Yeah.
Which is unique because typically players demand their final year of their contract to be a player option so that they can essentially opt out, then re-sign and get more, because the super maxes and maxes are designed around percentages of the cap. And every year the cap goes up. So players love getting their player option so they can opt out, then re-sign the max and get more money.
Yeah, maybe these guys just want to win. And if you think about
so
Williams and Chet, they're also in a position where it doesn't make sense for them to try to bet on, the cap and super maxes later on. Like this is your peak for Williams and Chet. Like you're never going to be hotter than you are right now. You should sign. For SGA, probably could have done that if he wanted to, but he seems like he's a low key guy. Like doesn't want all the hoopla and just wants to hoop himself. So it just works out for this organization. And I hope that they do go on some kind of dynasty style run, because the NBA they're the crossroads, man. And again, it's not being talked about, but we don't have a next. Like when Jordan went down, we kind of had an idea who was next, and then Kobe took it over anyway. During Kobe's time, there was plenty of people, but then LeBron took it over anyway.
Yeah.
You got LeBron and Steph in the same category, Durant in the same category. We want it to be Ant, but Ant hasn't done enough to establish himself. So it's like it's up for grabs. Who's the next best player? Who's the next guy? Who's the next dominant team? And I think the NBA is kind of betting on OKC to be that.
Do you think the next face of the NBA can be an international player?
It'll never work, just because.
So do you think SGA, he's a Canadian, do you think he fits as an international, or do you think he could be the face?
Yeah, I think he does fit as an international player.
Okay.
I mean, even like, again, when he starts talking and his mannerisms and stuff,
He's so low key.
It doesn't resonate with America. It doesn't resonate with the American public. I mean, we'll respect him as a hooper, and you don't have to be like
Anthony Edwards bravado.
Yeah, you don't have to be that, but you got to be relatable to the American public, and SGA is not relatable to the American public.
Americans do have a very what's the word? A very specific type of star they want to support.
Yeah.
Like you want a little bit of that bravado, and you see it across all of the sports. Like Luka might be able to do it because he plays with a little bit of that swagger. He's probably the only international player that I think could take that step. He's drinking beers and he trash talks and he kind of plays with that swagger.
Yeah, and he had crossover appeal, like occasional beef with Lil Wayne, like jokingly, stuff like that.
But like, so he could fit maybe being in LA. But like the Anthony Edwards is the face of the NBA if he's able to kind of take that next step in his career, because he plays with that bravado and that swagger that I think Americans want to see.
What's going to hurt international players too is that they're going to change the format to be USA versus the world in the All-Star game. There's a lot of pride in international competition. The Olympics will also hurt as well, because again, you could be the face of the NBA, but we're not going to cheer.
We're not going to root for Luka.
Yeah, we're not going to cheer for the Serbian team or the Canadian team over Team USA, right?
Even Wemby, they're like, that's a good guy over on the French team, but down with the French.
Yeah, he's cool, but nah. And then the other thing too, I know this is cliche, but I really think this kind of stuff matters. Like you gotta hoop, man. You gotta love the game, and by love the game, people have to see you at the Drew League. They got to see you at Rutgers. They got to see you doing those kind of things, because our faces of the league, our stars, are able to do that. Like people forget LeBron when he was younger, he'd be at an open gym and stuff like that. He did those kind of things.
Kyrie's like doing all
Kyrie,
this.
Uncle Drew literally made a character out of it. But like that embodiment of hooping is what has personified the face of the NBA so far. And I don't think any of the international guys love the game to that level. And if you don't love it to that level, you will never truly own the American market.
I also think there's a culture thing to it where like Giannis is stuck in Milwaukee, and the most he's done around trying to get out of Milwaukee is being like, hey guys, if you can trade me, that would be really great. Where LeBron is like, get me out of here. I'm going to fire a coach every 2 years. Like, there's a little bit more aggressiveness with American stars.
I think Giannis in a bigger market could have had a chance. For sure.
He loves ball. He's a good guy, but like, he's never going to be demanding out of Milwaukee. Wemby in San Antonio, we know what Charles Barkley thinks of San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not a large market. And he's never going to, he should never leave because
Wemby doesn't want it either.
Wemby's at a monastery.
I mean, he already said within his first year, he's like, yeah, I used to look up to these NBA guys. It's not what I thought. He's already separated himself.
He's taking a page out of the Jokic. He's like, I'll play here, I'll get my money, and then I'm going to go back to France and watch my horses race.
Pretty much. And so it's going to be interesting. Again, it's one of those stories within the stories because they've tried to push guys. They tried to push Ant. They tried to push Ja.
Trae Young.
Yeah, they tried to push Trae. They tried to push Brunson. It's not working. So it's up for grabs. And I think OKC has a chance to maybe even change it. What if we get away from a face of a league and identify with the team of the league or maybe something like that, you know?
I don't think that would work, but I mean, the NBA may have to try some new things because it might be
it might be the only avenue if you don't have a true American star that has that appeal. Because the thing that we keep talking about and talking around, you got to win. You got to win championship.
Yeah. If Ant wants to be it, if Ant is going to be it, he needs to make it to the NBA Finals this next year.
Jordan and LeBron and Kobe all played with some amazing, talented players.
Yep. And so does Ant. I mean, Julius Randle and his Skechers,
and we don't talk about them when they don't win championships.
Yes, exactly. And it's part of it too, because I mean, you even look at Wimbledon. And that swagger is on display in the women's side with Anna Samova. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Anna Samova. She's celebrating against Sabalenka. She's doing all of this crazy stuff. She's playing with a little bit of that swagger. She's playing with a little bit of that bravado. And it's gotten America behind her. And that's what Americans want out of the face of their league. Anthony Edwards has all of that, but Anthony Edwards needs to start winning. All right, we're going to get a break in here. Step aside, be back with more Fitz the Bill on this Friday, July 11th morning.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
On Clinton and Friends.
There's a lot going on around the Commanders in the nation's capital at this point, and it's actually football related, which is a minor miracle at this stage of the game. Jaden Daniels is a very popular player. There's a lot going on here. I'm very interested to see how this develops on and off the field for the Commanders for sure. This is number one on my list for reasons that are not just personal.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
1061 ESPN weather.
Taking a look at your weather forecast for today, it's currently 76 degrees and cloudy with a low today of 73 and a high of 89. Mostly cloudy conditions in the morning with the sun starting to poke out around 10 a.m. Clear skies throughout the afternoon and into the evening. Almost no wind today with gusts only up to 2 miles per hour. And taking a look at tomorrow, slightly warmer with a high of 91 and a low of 73.
Bob Black's here to get you through the wait, whether it's hoops, gridiron, or on the diamond. 4 to 6 p.m. never sounded this smooth. Let's ride home with the voice of the Richmond Spiders.
Welcome back in, Fitz the Bill. Time to go out to the phone lines. Reggie, come on down. How you doing on this Friday, July 11th morning?
I tell you what, this year, Media Day in a couple of weeks is going to be The Price is Right. Can you imagine the fiasco that's going to be there with not one, not two, but a former great NFL greats with Coach Jackson of Delaware State and Coach Vic of Norfolk? You're going to see so much national attention that the reporters going to be asking for autographs and taking pictures of former coaches. It's going to be crazy.
Reggie, we can't ask for autographs.
Reggie, I saw
That's a no-no.
that is a no-no. That's the media no-no. But did you see? I think LaShawn McCoy is doing something down there at the media days too. I think LaShawn McCoy's coming to be like a speaker or something.
Look, guys, we talking about the MEAC and HBCU. What you're supposed to do, other places they do different at the MEAC. I'm not saying the brother's not going to be professional, but you're going to have some guys asking for autographs. I've been to Media Day at the MEAC many times, and this will be the first time that you're going to have national attention on the 757. I mean, can you imagine the media request that the poor commissioner probably turn people down because all of a sudden people who know nothing about the MEAC, don't care about the MEAC, now want to cover the MEAC. Come on, guys, you know I'm right.
It happened with the SWAC too, right? With Jackson State. Like when Dion was there for a couple of years, everyone was there. And then the year after he leaves, there was like maybe 4 media members. And it's just like, oh, you guys weren't here for the schools. You guys were here for Dion. That's going to be the same thing in the MEAC this year.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be crazy. Look, ESPN might even put it on ESPN 1 rather than ESPN 2 to get national attention.
This is where a conference commissioner is so important. How do you take that interest, although it's interest in Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick, not necessarily the conference or the schools, but how do you turn that interest in those two players two coaches? I got to get used to saying coaches. How do you take that interest and then how do you funnel it into MEAC interest? The SWAC commissioner wasn't able to take the Dion interest and turn it into long-term interest in his conference. How does the MEAC do it? That is the mark of a good conference commissioner.
Oh, I agree. But the problem with the SWAC was that you had a certain athletic director down in Jackson State claim they had 60,000 in the stadium, but the ticket sale only said 30,000. Deion said, "What the hell going on? This math don't add up." I mean, come on, man. Boo Boo the Fool can see what's going on, and I'm not just making that up. That's documented. One of the reasons why he left because of that BS. But I'm just saying that. It's gonna be crazy down there. I said I had a couple of friends of mine, Luke Williams. As a matter of fact, I can get him on your show. He'll give you a fantastic one from HBCU.com and let you know what's going on behind the scenes. Because I'm telling you what, they can say what they want to say, but you got to have revenue. It's the reason why ODU shot up the charts when it came to football because people put their money where their mouth is. Yeah. Real quick, Norfolk State had a chance to play ODU and host at Coach Price Stadium, but they didn't come up with the money. ODU outbid them, got home field advantage, and won in the playoffs. That's going to be the problem for the MEAC. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, that is a mass. And you got to hope that the MEAC doesn't see Norfolk State get some success and move on to the CAA like they've kind of been poached over the last couple of years.
No, they're not going to CAA because the Crown right now, look, the former coach of Odom was so upset that come homecoming, they had more people out there tailgating than at the game. He wouldn't know where in the hell are the people at. Everybody was tailgating. I mean, and that's one reason why he let him go. He questioned the president's commitment. He said everybody's out in the parking lot and all over the streets tailgating, and and I got about 20,000 tailgating and 5,000 at the game. That didn't add up, if that.
Yeah, the numbers don't match there.
No. The band might can perform, but if you got more people out there grilling and having a good time and doing step shows rather than in the game getting team support, it doesn't help.
True. That is very true. That is very true. I'm excited to see how MEAC Media Days, though, go with LaShawn McCoy hosting them and then everything else going on around with the coaches.
Hey, quick question. Is this thing a rumor or is it true that the Colts are trying to show interest in Sanders with Cleveland? What's going on with that story?
The coaches are showing interest in Shedeur Sanders?
Yeah, the Indianapolis Colts. ESPN had a report where Indianapolis Colts are trying to talk to the Cleveland Browns about a trade getting Shedeur Sanders down there in Indianapolis.
I've not heard this just yet. I'm going to have to do some research on this. You have stumped me here, Reggie, because I've not heard that the Colts have shown interest in Shedeur Sanders. So I will have to read up on that, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Probably Monday of next week, we'll break that down.
If he does speeding tickets in Indianapolis, he's going to really be in trouble.
It might be more difficult for him. I think Indianapolis got some pretty straight roads out there compared to Cleveland.
Yeah, no question. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, Reggie. You have a good weekend as well. There goes Reggie. I've not heard that rumor. Leave it for Reggie. He's got all. He's on the pulse of sports.
Yeah, it's it looks like it's got a little traction. But
traction.
I'd be shocked if anybody makes a trade for Shedeur or any rookie for that matter. I mean, if it's like that, they'll just let him get cut and then pick him up.
Let him get cut, or you had an opportunity 2 months ago to draft him.
That too. So I don't know what he could have shown
the sixth round. So.
I don't know what he could have shown you in camp or whatever it is that they're doing, OTAs and whatnot, that would make you change your mind so quickly. But one thing I've learned over the last 2 years is you can't predict what any of these people will do that are in front offices, man. They do some weird things.
Yeah. Front offices are wild places.
If I was the Browns, I would keep Shedeur. I think he has a lot of potential. I'm not saying he's going to be great, but I think he'll be better than pretty much anybody else that they've had come through there in quite some time. They just have to like build a team though. It can't just be throw him in and we're going to win 10 games. No. He needs playmakers around him. But I actually wasn't a big I wasn't against Stefanski either. I felt like he was a decent coach. All the adversity he's faced with not having a steady quarterback.
Stefanski's a great coach.
Yeah. Like if you think about the NFL, one thing that you will find on every good team is stability with the organization up top and at the quarterback position.
Why are the Chiefs so good? Why are the Patriots so good?
And the season he went to the playoffs, what he had like 5, maybe 6 different rotations at quarterback. Man, it was like every 2 weeks.
He got the most out of Joe Flacco, was it? Was it Joe Flacco when he found his resurgence with Cleveland? Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think Joe wanted to retire or just make some easy bench money, and he ended up being a legitimate starter for a couple weeks.
What I'm seeing around Shedeur, though, with the Sporting News and what they're saying is Sanders right now is not necessarily impressing much in camp, and he might be more of a potential cut candidate than a starting guy. So maybe that's where the interest is coming from with the Colts. Maybe don't let him hit the open market and trade for him now to add a little young depth to their quarterback room with Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. I don't know though. I mean, it's all just very weird, and we're still so early on. We'll get more clarity when training camp starts, because right now it's just kind of rumors being thrown out there everywhere.
He doesn't fit Stefanski. He doesn't fit what's the coach's name for the Colts? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
Shane Steichen?
Yeah, Steichen. He doesn't fit his offense, honestly.
Steichen likes a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, you need some mobility.
Shedeur is it is always so tough to wrap your head around the fact that Shedeur Sanders is a statue of a quarterback.
Not really. I mean,
he doesn't have the mobility.
Because his dad's an apex athlete. Typically, it doesn't translate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you think of the Sanders last name, and you would expect his son to be a little bit more mobile than what he is, and Shedeur is a between the ears quarterback, and he's going to stand back there and throw.
Deion said he got it from his mom.
Deion and his mom don't really like each other, so he's throwing shade at her in that way. But so Shedeur, he's battling. We'll keep it locked. We'll keep diving in to the Browns Colts potential trade with it all. because that's an interesting thing to follow. Let's head out back to the phone lines. Michael is out there on the phone lines on this Friday morning. Good morning, Michael. How you doing?
Morning, Jack. How you doing?
Great, thanks.
Hey, it's unless there's barring some kind of major injury, I don't understand why some teams are now going to want to trade for sure. All 32 passed up on him in the draft. I mean, if the Colts wanted him, why not take him when they had 3 or 4 picks to do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I still stand by my statement from earlier when we talked back in June or May, whenever the draft was. I think it was June, but I still think there are a lot of teams that passed on him that really needed him as whether it was a backup or a competition for a starter. I mean, I still think Minnesota could have used him. The jury's still on J.J. McCarthy. I still think he would have been a great backup for Stafford and the Rams. They got a ton of talent, and Stafford's old. And let him learn and think that, the Jets always can use a backup. I mean, Fields could get hurt or Fields could, not play well. Dallas needs a backup. I mean, all these teams, and here we are they're going towards August with preseason, and now we're talking about trading for the guy.
I mean, that's a great point because every single team had multiple opportunities, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 opportunities to draft this guy. He fell so late. So why would you pass on him then to just trade it for him 2-3 months later? I'm right there with you. It doesn't make a lot of sense that a team, especially if he's on the chopping block, right? Like the reports coming out of camp is that he started slow, not camp, I guess OTAs and mini camp. The reports are that he started slow and he's not really in a solid position to even make the roster. And if that's the case, if you're the Colts or if you're another team, why would you even waste a 7th round, 6th round draft pick to go and try and get Shador? Just let him get cut, and then you can just pick him up on the open market.
Right. He may not be better than 70% of most starters on other teams, but he's probably 90% better than all backups on other teams. That's just my guess on that.
I do like the Rams. You brought up the Rams. That'd be fun for him to be the backup there. Now, of course, that won't happen because they won't trade for him or anything like that. But that could have been a fun project there for Sean McVay with Matt Stafford.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they've got a really good team. Stafford is old. Stafford's had the last year's kind of bit of injury history. I mean, why not let him learn from Stafford and come in and it's a big city for him. So it's all the stars line. That makes sense for him. But I just don't understand at this point what would be the motive to have him on trade.
Yeah, it's very weird. So we'll keep it locked because right now it's only like a couple people maybe saying that it's a logical trade, not really fully legged out. But if there's smoke, sometimes there's fire. So we'll see if that fire turns into something a little larger as the weekend goes on. Thank you so much for calling in, Michael. Have a wonderful weekend. Here goes Michael. Just something to monitor. It's right now very much in rumor mill land, but sometimes when rumors start, Mary Kay Cabot, the Cleveland Browns ESPN reporter, was kind of low on Shador with his performance at mini camps and OTAs. And I mean, Shador does have a uphill battle. He was the last quarterback picked. He seemed to be more of a pick that the ownership wanted rather than the GM and the coach. And now he has to battle with, is Deshaun Watson coming back? Or is Deshaun Watson done?
Is Deshaun Watson welcomed back?
Like, I got so many questions around Deshaun Watson. But so if he's playing, I guess you got to battle Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel, and then Shador. And I just don't know which. I think they're going to roster Deshaun, but I don't know if he's even able to play. I don't know what they're doing with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson probably doesn't even know what they're doing with
I don't
Deshaun
think
Watson.
they know what they're doing with Deshaun Watson either. I'll have to look into it. I know they had him restructure his contract either before last season or at some point last season.
Yeah.
But I have to look and see what that means.
Not to open an entire can of worms here right before we end the first hour, but is that the worst trade of all time?
Without a doubt.
Like, that's the worst trade.
Fully guaranteed, set the market, and he has played minimum games.
And the Deshaun Watson trade, and then ensuing fully guaranteed contract is then what has turned this collusion case into what it is today. Like, that is the reason that the NFL is being investigated for collusion. And it's why the NFLPA president is now essentially being outed as the NFLPA president, and his days are maybe numbered. He might get fired as the NFLPA president later today. I mean, that is something to keep an eye on too. The NFLPA is not happy with Lloyd Howell Jr. because he's a part-time paid consultant for a private equity firm that is approved to purchase minority stakes in NFL teams, which means he could be an owner and he's supposed to be working for the players. He also was under investigation when he was the CFO at Booz Allen. Like, there was some stuff that came out there. There was a whistleblower that threw his name under the bus specifically. But all of this, the butterfly effect is crazy. All of this is because Deshaun Watson was traded from Houston to Cleveland. Man, what one butterfly flaps its wings in America and it turns into a hurricane.
It really did ruin everything.
It has destroyed so much. And it almost cost the Baltimore Ravens Lamar Jackson. But thanks to collusion, Lamar Jackson is still with the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, he had every right to ask for it. I mean,
if there's a quarterback in the NFL that deserved a fully guaranteed contract, it is Lamar Jackson. It's Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. Those are the core guys that deserve fully guaranteed contract. Deshaun Watson, the guy who hasn't played in a year because he's recovering from a torn ACL, is mired in sexual harassment and sexual assault allegations. That's the guy we want to give a fully guaranteed contract to. That's just bad business. And then we're still feeling the ramifications of it here in 2025 on July 11th, free Slurpee Day. And we have to have it hanging over our heads.
So it looks like they can void the contract after next season.
But I think there's an injury guarantee, though. If he gets hurt in a game, that void becomes guaranteed.
He's got a full no trade clause as well.
This man stole. There should be a fraud watch.
Language exists that will not forfeit signing bonus or void future guarantees upon suspension. So I think that was from the previous thing.
Oh my goodness.
But
but I think
58.1 million is insured from last year's season. Like, essentially, there's no way out of not paying him a lot. And you're looking at upwards of 167 million dead cap if you cut him.
That's like half of your cap.
Yeah, it's insane.
What in the world? That's crazy.
It's an insane contract. Honestly.
Why did the Haslams do it? Haslams tried to. My conspiracy theory with why they signed that is they saw Lamar Jackson was coming up for the contract extension. And so they purposely wanted to give a fully guaranteed contract, thinking that was going to set the precedent for the Lamar Jackson contract. And then I just don't think they fully accounted for the fact that the NFL was going to collude with themselves to not ever do another fully guaranteed contract. There was a group text. It had 31 owners of the 32. The one they left out was the Haslams because they were talking ish behind their back because they gave a fully guaranteed contract. They were trying to kneecap the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, smart thinking. It just hasn't worked out for him, considering Deshaun Watson is a bad, maybe the worst quarterback in the NFL now. And it may impact Shedeur Sanders with where he goes next.
Hey, it's Delvin Joyce, JMU Hall of Famer and former New York Giant. And listen, make sure you tune in to Talkin' Dukes every Wednesday on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Go Dukes.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by tax relief advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A-plus rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 five-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Oh, I love this scene.
Yeah, man. I bet we could pull off a street race like this.
Dude, totally.
Hey, you know this is just a movie, right?
Whoa, what?
You try this in real life, you could kill someone, or even yourself.
Life's not like the movies. Avoid a life-changing consequence and slow down, because this is one disaster you can't outrun. Speeding catches up with you. A message presented by NHTSA.
The Black Friday and July event from Dell Technologies is here with great offers on trusted technology. You'll also discover huge deals on new AI-ready laptops like the Dell 14 Plus featuring Intel Core Ultra processors starting at $699.99. Save on top accessories, plus enjoy fast, free shipping and other benefits. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Score alerts, hot takes, and Richmond's loudest fans. W291CL Lakeside Richmond and WURV HD2 Richmond. Bring the noise and game on 106.1 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome into hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill as we roll right along on this Friday morning, July 11th. It's 7-Eleven day. Free Slurpees. Go out, get your free Slurpees today. I completely forgot about it until I walked in and I saw Kobe from Classic Rock walking in with his Slurpees, and I was like, that's right. Today is 7-Eleven indeed. Appreciate you getting your day started with us right here on 106.1 ESPN, also on the ESPN Richmond app and ESPNRichmond.com. We're also live on YouTube. Just type in ESPN Richmond on YouTube. We'll pop right on up and you can watch live there. And while you're there, you might as well hit subscribe and might as well head on over to Fitz the Bill, ESPN RVA as well to subscribe to Fitz the Bill so you never miss anything that's happening over here. And you can also find us on Instagram and TikTok, Fitz the Bill, ESPN RVA. You never miss anything that's happening. Some behind the scenes looks, exclusive insight, all of that fun stuff is happening over on our socials. I also want to let you guys know that ESPN Richmond and Fitz the Bill is proud to be a sponsor for the Virginia Council of CEOs Fall Leaders Conference in September. It's September 25th. You can check out the link in our Instagram bio at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA to get your tickets. And when you get your tickets, be sure to use code FITZ, FITZ at checkout. So you get a little stuff for it. Don't miss out on the Virginia Council of CEOs Fall Leaders Conference, September 25th, 2025. Ross Bernstein is going to be the keynote speaker. He's the best-selling author of over 40 books. So you do not want to miss that, September 25th, 2025. Here to start hour number 2. We weren't able to get it in hour number 1, so we'll squeeze it in to start hour number 2 here. It's time for a little news or snooze. The top storylines from around the wide world of sports. We'll say if they're newsworthy or snoozeworthy. Take it away.
News or snooze.
So the NCAA, this is from ESPN. NCAA says March Madness expansion to 72 or 76 is still viable. This is newsworthy. Newsworthy for all of the wrong reasons, however, because they're still trying to force this down our throats. Us as the sports consuming public have voiced our concerns, have voiced that we do not want this. Leave it at 68. It is a nice number. You see Twitter polls asking people about it, and I've never seen this much support for a single thing in sports ever. And the NCAA, Dan Gavitt, the senior vice president of basketball for the NCAA, is still out here saying it's still viable to go to 72 or 76 teams for either the 2026 NCAA tournament or the 2027 NCAA tournament. Leave what works alone. If another cliche, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. I heard Bob talk about it yesterday on the Sports Huddle, where Joe Lenardi went back over the past few years to see who this would benefit. And among the first 4 out plus the next 4 out. So if they expanded to 72, they would include the first 4 out. If they expanded to 76, it would include the first 4 out and then the next 4 out. Of those teams, 75% of them are from power conferences. This would not help the little guy. This would not help mid-majors. And if you think that, you're delusional. This last year, it would have made the A-10 a two-bid league. But oh so barely. It would have been the tournament champ, and then it would have been Dayton squeaking in as part of the next 4 out. Barely would have made them. And the reasoning you see that they use, and I think Greg Sankey used this example, was, well, you saw what NC State did as an 11 seed. We want to get, his words were, we want to get more of those power conference teams into it, maybe as a lower seed that can go on those Cinderella runs. Greg, Mr. Sankey, SEC commissioner, the righteous one, whatever word you want to use for Greg Sankey. That's not what people want to see.
That's definitely not what they want to see.
Look, NC State making that run was cool, but people want to see St. Peter's. People want to see Fairleigh Dickinson. They want to see Oakland with that white guy who's now an accountant.
Oh yeah. He was cool, man.
Yeah, he was hitting threes, man. He could not miss.
Horizon League, stand up.
They want to see the team from Northwest Panhandle State. They want to see Oral Roberts and make jokes about that, but they want to see Oral Roberts. They want to see. They don't want to see.
We want to see Indiana State.
We want to see Indiana. We want to see George Mason. We want to see
VCU,
App State from 2 years ago. We don't want to see NC State as an 11 seed go on a run.
I've never heard anybody in all my years say, darn, I wish we had gotten oh
man,
which we got Georgia Tech in the bubble.
That bubble team out of the ACC, man, they would have gone on a run.
Yeah.
No, I don't. We always talk about Indiana State. We talk about Greg Sankey, but this is newsworthy for all the wrong reasons. They are just trying to jam this down our throats, man. We don't want it. Just leave it be. Leave what works alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you're someone out there that thinks this is going to benefit the little guy, stop being delusional. This is not going to help the little guy. All right, headline number 2. We've got 4 headlines today. Little honorable mention there at the end. Number 2, Tulsa football coach Trey Lamb qualifies for Oklahoma Gulf State Amateur Championship. That's from CBS Sports. It's newsworthy, though. It's news.
How's that newsworthy? That's impressive.
It's impressive, but I'm going to need my guy Trey Lamb to be out here. Look, you took over Tulsa, man. You got a lot of work to do. I'm going to need you out there on the recruiting trail. You got to be out there. You got to be grinding. We're in the dead period. We're in the dead period.
I was going to say, somebody's going to get mad at me for saying this. Recruiting's overrated at this point, man.
Especially if you're Tulsa.
Yeah, spend the money.
High school doesn't matter.
Spend the money.
Spend the money if you're Tulsa. But like high school recruiting doesn't matter.
I mean,
for a group of 5 schools.
Yeah, for a group of 5 schools at this point in where we are in the college landscape, I would say the amount that it matters is very minimum.
Yes, what matters is your transfer recruiting.
Yeah, you're liable to get the kid and he'll be gone tomorrow.
I will say, though, this is a lot better than Hugh Freeze, who logged double-digit golfing rounds in June, and Auburn fans are calling for his head. They want him fired because they have one of the worst recruiting rankings in the SEC, and they're blaming it on the fact that he was golfing in June more than he was recruiting. I love SEC fans.
Hey, look, man, you want Hugh somewhere where he's not bored, because the last time he got bored, when he was in SEC country, he used his phone for some things he shouldn't have.
Yes, he did. And then he got up in a hospital bed and gave a thumbs up at Liberty. What a guy. What a guy. If you were a head football coach, what would your side quest be? Trey Lamb's side quest is just qualifying for the Oklahoma Gulf State Amateur Championship. Would you have a side quest?
I mean, I have side quests in my day-to-day life. So I would be, my side quest would be like a pit master or something like that.
I was gonna say a winemaker.
Yeah, I want something to do with food or drinks. I don't want to be outside doing anything competitive or in that realm, just because again, football is so Like you're on the edge
Yes.
as a coach at a D1 level. So I could only imagine. I don't want to do anything that competitive.
Yeah. But good for him. It's snoozeworthy because I don't really care about it, but it's kind of funny. It is definitely a good headline.
It's impressive though.
It's
man.
really impressive.
Golf is hard.
I think he had to finish in the top 33 to qualify in the thing he was doing, and he qualified. And now the Oklahoma Gulf State Amateur Championship, fun fact, I read this in the article, it's being held at his home course.
Oh, that makes it even better.
And he qualified on a course he had never played on before. So he qualifies, and now he gets to play the state championship, amateur championship on his home course. So good for him. Next one, Eagles. Lane Johnson ahead of year 13. He said, quote, I feel young in heart, but can't ignore Father Time. That's from NFL.com. That's pretty newsworthy.
He's in 13.
Yes.
Year 13.
It's newsworthy because of how important he is for the Eagles.
But he's in year 13. At some point, he's got to stop.
Yeah, exactly. At some point, he's got to stop. If it can't ignore Father Time, is he going to get injured this year? Is he going to be forced to stop this year? Eagles offensive line can't afford that. He's a top 10 offensive tackle. He's a top 10 offensive lineman, according to PFF's offensive grade. He's 6th best in pass blocking, 12th best in run blocking. He's super important over there at that right tackle spot. So they've got to start figuring out who their replacement is for Lane Johnson, because he may only have a year or two left.
Look,
that's why it's newsworthy.
After year 10, they should have been trying to figure something out, man.
Do they have a right tackle lined up?
I would assume they've got plenty of depth, but obviously you're not going to replace Lane Johnson with anybody on your bench just now. But whoever's at the end of their bench to come in, I'm pretty sure he could do some spot starts if Lane goes down this year. Yeah. I don't doubt anything how he's done from a scouting standpoint. I would assume they're ready.
All right. It is newsworthy to me. He's starting to talk about can't ignore Father Time.
But he's in year 13.
He is in year 13, but when you start talking about Father Time, that means the end is right around the corner.
You can tell by the way he gets off the bench, man. He's been winding down for quite some time. Like when Kelsey, you could tell it was Kelsey's time, man.
Lane Johnson is looking like me when I'm standing up from this chair after my max leg day where I can't feel my legs. That's what Lane Johnson looks like.
I feel sorry for these guys, man. But hey, they're monsters. This is what they do.
They're crazy people. All right. A little extra news or snooze here. I put together my top 3. I liked my top 3, but then I saw this one. This one's more of a storyline. It's from iShowSpeed's stream on Twitch. This is a great news source. Highly recommend it. This is where you get all of your sports news. Speed said to Giannis, you staying in Milwaukee? And Giannis said, probably. We'll see. It was very interesting that the two had a very, very candid moment on Speed's stream.
I know you were looking at me figuring out what I was going to push. It's definitely snoozeworthy.
It's snoozeworthy. The soundbite from it is kind of funny though, because he does not sound all that exciting about it.
Yeah,
he's kind of like probably.
Well, since we're on the subject, I wanted to bring this up. It's a rare moment, but I give Chris Canty some credit. He has a take that he thinks that Giannis just doesn't want to be the villain. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. So he's backed himself into a corner where he's like, morally speaking, he's committed to the Bucks out of this sense of loyalty, but like professionally speaking, he wants to leave.
That's what I was saying earlier about these international players. They sometimes don't have it seems like they don't have the ability to be like, get me out of here. Like Giannis should be having a fit in Milwaukee right now.
Absolutely.
Because what have they done to help him? Damian Lillard. All right, well, there goes 20 some odd points. Signed Miles Turner, have put them up against the first apron, luxury tax, all of that stuff. And Miles Turner doesn't make them a better team. If anything, it keeps them right around where they were or slightly worse. And he's supposed to go into next season with the expectations with Doc Rivers as his head coach that they're going to be an NBA Finals contender. No. They got boat raced by Indiana in the NBA Finals. You may not have witnessed that because it was on NBA TV, but they got boat raced by Indiana in that series.
Yeah, it was. I was watching, I think Fox or something. They were talking about it. They just completely glossed over the Indiana Bucks series and went straight to like the Pacers and Knicks, which was hilarious. But I don't know. I don't know why he won't just say what everybody's already thinking, man. Like, get out while you can.
I would say he has a 40-60 chance of finishing his career in Milwaukee, 40% finishing it there, 60% somewhere else. Now, I don't think he gets traded this offseason, but he might be a trade deadline move or something. He may be moving here shortly at some point in this next season.
Yeah, if he was going to get traded, he should have did it before the draft.
Exactly. And so that's why I think he'll be a trade deadline move or an early offseason move next year. I think he's giving them one more season. I think he's like, all right, you tried to make a splashy move by waiving Dame and signing Miles Turner. Maybe I'll give you a chance to do it. But, I mean, Giannis deserves so much better. He deserves so much better.
And I think what's going to make him look like a villain is if he goes into this season like talking as if he's committed, he's all in and this and that, and then it shows up on the court. Because
I think he'll play committed.
I don't know, man. Basketball players have a hard time committing to poor team play. Like he get a lot of stand-in, lack of effort. I mean, Giannis has been always in the contention for like defensive player of the year and stuff like that.
He'll end up
triple doubles. We're gonna get a little bit of James Harden out of him.
His 3-point attempts per game is gonna raise by like 2 per game because he's just gonna be like, I'm not driving, man.
Yeah, right?
I'm a spot. No, I think he'll still compete. I think he has that DNA where no matter what, he will be a competitor. But Giannis has got to get out of Milwaukee. And that was just it was kind of depressing because at first they start talking about LA and New York and Speed's like, the taxes are insane. And Giannis kind of laughs and he goes, yeah, a lot of people want me to go there. And Speed just goes, oh, are you staying in Milwaukee? And Giannis kind of takes a pause and goes, probably. We'll see. And it's like, oh, that's not good. You're leaving that pretty open-ended, and you did not sound happy with Milwaukee. Probably the only thing going for him is the fact that they have low taxes. But look, if you're San Antonio, De'Aaron Fox, some future first-round draft picks, maybe you have to throw in Stephon Castle in there too. Go get Giannis. That Dylan Harper, Giannis, and Wemby wins you a championship in the next 3 years.
Oh my God, that would be unfair.
You would not be able to get a shot up. Wemby's 7'10" wingspan next to Giannis's 7'6" wingspan or whatever it is. Go out there and do it. De'Aaron Fox is not important to San Antonio. Go out, trade De'Aaron Fox. He does not fit in your team. Throw in 4 first-rounders, 5 first-rounders. Maybe throw in Stephon Castle, the reigning rookie of the year. See if that works. Someone put that in the trade finder. See if that works. Because that's what I'm doing if I'm San Antonio. Giannis in the gray and black. That would be right next to Wemby. That's what I want to see. That's happened at the trade deadline. Let's get a break in here. We'll step aside, be back. A little update on NIL and everything that's happening around this brand new college sports commission.
Golf season is here. Whether it's your first round of the year or the next round, make sure you're playing it at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. We're offering special pricing this summer on outings for civic organizations, churches, kids' athletic teams, or your own special fundraiser. Also, now is the time to start signing up for your fall golf outings. For more information or to book a tee time, give us a call at 804-749-1900 or visit online at huntinghawkgolf.com.
Summer is here in the RVA and soccer season is in full swing. Make your plans now for the Richmond Kickers' next home game Saturday, July 12th versus Chattanooga Red Wolves SC. It's World Football Night at City Stadium celebrating the sport of international soccer. Gates open at 6 p.m. for a 7 p.m. start, so make sure to stop by early for happy hour beverage specials and sample RVA's best variety of food trucks. Reserve your tickets today at richmondkickers.com. And don't forget, at Kickers games, dogs are always welcome.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code YEAR to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He's got Derrick Henry. He's got other weapons. Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. The defense took a big step up last year, and now you add Jair Alexander. You have a head coach who's won a Super Bowl. If it's not Lamar Jackson, I don't know who has more pressure on him heading into this season.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Hey, Richmond, this is Ben Ingram, and there's only one place in the 804 to stay up to date on all things Atlanta Braves. 106.1 ESPN.
This song is 8 minutes.
That's what it says.
That's long, man. Let's see how long. Let's just sit it. Let's just sit and listen to it for the full 8 minutes.
It's the riffs and stuff that they have. They have a lot of breaks in it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. All right, welcome back in. Fitz the Bill. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick Allen alongside on this Friday, July 11th, 7-11. If you have checked the calendar on this Friday, we want to talk a little bit about this college sports commission thing that has been instituted with this House settlement that passed recently. Because now all NIL deals have to go through this clearinghouse. And there's been some controversy that's come up, not really controversy, but some issues that have come up around this clearinghouse because they're taking a really long time to approve or deny these NIL deals. And in some cases, it has actually caused the student athlete to miss out on an NIL deal because it was time sensitive. Other times, there isn't really any real rules in place where they're kind of just like willy-nilly doing it. And so the College Sports Commission released additional guidance, additional criteria for what can and can't be an NIL deal, what they approve from collectives, what they don't approve from collectives. And in it is this thing called VBP, valid business purpose, where deals must demonstrate a legitimate commercial rationale, including evidence of using the student athlete's name, image, or likeness to promote a good or service being offered to the public for profit, and also or compliance with industry standard NIL practices. An entity with the business purpose of providing payments or benefits to student athletes or institutions rather than providing goods or services to the general public for profit does not satisfy the valid business purpose requirement set forth in NCAA Rule 2213. Oh, that was a lot. So essentially, NIL collectives that are there to get money from donors and then pay the student athletes directly without really anything going on, those deals will no longer be allowed. And they have to have a collective that essentially, you do X for us and we will pay you. Man, I want regulations. I get it. I want it. But man, can't we just pay the players? Like, why are we making this so damn complicated? Can't we just pay the players? Like, they are out there bringing in money for their university. Now, the revenue share is fantastic. $20.5 million. We can share that revenue with the players. We can sign these contract things and all of that. That's awesome. Now, the NIL portion of it,
And this is where Deion Sanders is right. There should be a cap, a salary cap in college football, because these NILs, there's the haves, there's the have-nots, there's everything. But there should be no workaround. Like, so what if a collective has $1 million and they want to pay a student athlete? Who cares? They are performing a duty for you. They are performing for you every Saturday. You should be able to just pay them. Why is the College Sports Commission now coming in and doing all of this weird stuff? Oh, well, if you're a collective paying a student athlete, we're going to deny it if there's no kind of, if they're not giving food away at the homeless shelter for this money, then we're not going to approve it. Why? They are performing an action in the case of college football, every Saturday. Should that not be enough to get money from the collectives? There is a whole other issue at hand where there are the Texas Tech collectives now, led by Cody Campbell, I think his name is. Dude's got billions of dollars and is happy to say, here, Texas Tech, take my checkbook and write whatever number you want down and I will pay it. That's another issue, because if you want like a level playing field, you're going to have to figure that out. But I think a real way to figure that out is either doing a cap. You have more not severe, but you have more aggressive contracts that include buyouts for the players, things of that sort. I think there's ways to work around it. Just pay the dang players, man. Why are we making this so difficult? You're telling me if I wanted to pay Camden Coleman tomorrow, JMU, Richmond's former quarterback, he transferred to JMU this offseason. If I wanted to pay him $601 because I was like, Cam, you're a great quarterback, man. I think you're going to do great things. Here's $601. That money would then have to go through this collective clearinghouse. And because he's not giving me anything in return, it would not be allowed. That just doesn't make sense. He's doing something for me. He is performing well every Saturday for JMU as the quarterback. That's worth $601 to me. And it's just making things so much more difficult. I mean, evidence of using the student athlete's NIL to promote a good or service being offered to the public for profit. Look, if a business owner doesn't want to see ROI on their marketing campaigns, who am I to tell them they shouldn't do that? Compliance with industry standard NIL practices, an entity with a business purpose of providing payments or benefits to student athletes or institutions rather than providing goods or services to the general public for profit does not satisfy the valid business purpose requirement set forth in a arcane NCAA rule. The NCAA can't get out of its own way. I thought the House settlement was going to make things more clear. It's making things more complicated. And these clearinghouses, this Deloitte consultant firm is taking forever to get these things going. The guidance is suggesting that traditional deals with collectives are not going to be improved by the NIL clearinghouse, which throws a whole new wrench into this entire system, man. I do not get it. Like, just pay the players. They are performing in college football. I'm talking in college football. They are performing for you every Saturday. Those media rights deals are then being sold off for billions of dollars. Pay them. And you would still have money left over to go buy your yacht, Dan Gavitt. What are we doing?
I don't want to hold you up from your NASCAR segment, but there's some complaining and moaning and groaning going on at the Big 12 about how Texas Tech has went about their business. So I mean, but it's funny. It's a mixed bag, because some coaches were like, dang, I wish that was me. And some coaches are like, it shouldn't be this way. And other coaches are like, good for them. So it's I think not having guardrails or parameters or some kind of criteria is also creating confusion amongst people's opinions.
100. Like, I agree with every single Big 12 coach that is like, that's not fair. I wish I had that. Good for them.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes. Like, you are correct. But in the current system, yes, like Texas Tech can do that. And that's why there should be more guardrails. There should be more parameters, figure some stuff out. And it's just muddying the situation where they're like, you can't do this. And it's like, well, why? Like, the solution here, and maybe it's not this simple. Maybe I'm just dense on the entire situation, but I don't think I am. Just just set a cap. Just be like, all right, you cannot spend more than this amount of money, and you have to have all of this go through stuff. Like, I don't fully comprehend that. I feel like there's solutions to this. Maybe not necessarily simple solutions, but there are solutions. But instead, the NCAA wants to be like, we don't want any pay for play, but we will profit billions of dollars. The media rights deal they signed with Warner, with everything for college basketball, $1.1 billion. $1.1 billion. We got a text. I'm all for ensuring that there's a legit business reason for NIL payments, because that was the whole intent for NIL in the first place. But what's preventing a donor from paying a player $2 million to appear in one TV commercial or something crazy like that? That's what the clearinghouse is trying to figure out. They're trying to say, what's the value of appearing in one TV commercial? So if you're paying $2 million for that, the clearinghouse then will say the value of that is only $2,000. You cannot pay them $2 million. That's the point of the clearinghouse. But I've come around to the point of like, why not just pay them for what they're doing on Saturdays? That's part of revenue sharing. Just, we got to figure out some guidelines. Yes, I'm jealous of Texas Tech. Good for them at the same time. And also, it's not fair. All of those things can be true, and we need more guardrails and more parameters to figure this out.
How would you like a free dinner? That's right, a free dinner. Hi, I'm Jeff Trice with the Insurance Doctor, and I've been telling you for years how nobody beats the Insurance Doctor's prices. And now I'll prove it. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you, and if we can't beat your price, I'll buy you dinner at the restaurant of your choice. So now is the perfect time to shop your auto insurance, because I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. Either way, you get paid. Our competitors like to say they can save you money on your car insurance, but only the Insurance Doctor has a low price guarantee. So no matter who you're with, we will beat their price. It's guaranteed. Oh, and by the way, I'll throw in your own personal agent for free. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you. I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. So call us today and see why I say nobody beats the Insurance Doctor.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147, or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily 3 to 4 p.m. pit stop for unfiltered sports takes, statewide debate, and no-holds-barred analysis. Richmond's game, Matt's Lane. Don't miss it.
Now, Pat Jaggers. Back in here, Fitz the Bill. We are joined by Pat Jaggers of the Motor Racing Network on this Friday morning. Good morning, Pat. How are we doing?
I'm good, fellas. How's it going?
We're doing great. We are doing fantastic. And I want to start off with a hot button question for you right off the top. Is Shane Van Gisbergen the greatest road course, street court racer we've ever seen?
1,000,000%. Until anybody can show that they can go out there and compete in the NASCAR level the way he does consistently, I think what makes him the greatest isn't what he's just done in the Cup Series. It's the Xfinity Series level as well. You know, he won 3 road course races last year. He's won the last 2 in the Cup Series. He won Chicago in his debut in NASCAR in the Cup Series. So this is kind of an insane tear we're seeing here. And until somebody can show they're as dominant as he is on these courses, it's yes. The answer is yes, without a doubt.
What are the odds he goes out this weekend and wins at Sonoma, another road course?
I would say it's pretty darn high, Jack. I do think that this would be the one. I know just looking at Watkins Glen last year and the speed he had in that event, I think that one kind of caught me off guard. I thought because it's not like an F1 race, it's not like a supercars race. Watkins Glen is a really fast road course. I thought that would be the one that maybe he would struggle at. I thought a place like that would favor like a Chris Buescher. But to be honest with you, when we look at Sonoma, it's interesting. He didn't win this race last year. There was a repave. It was a learning curve for everyone at Sonoma last year. So I think his chances of winning this race are high because, Jack, just like all other sports, momentum is a thing and consistency is a thing. And when those two things are in your favor, you're going to be a tough opponent to beat.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to watch at Sonoma with that repave, with everything that's happening. Going into this race, though, Pat, there is some stuff floating around 2311, I think front row as well, with their suing of NASCAR and then their charters and everything. Can you put that into perspective of what might happen this weekend with 2311 as the big name team and their charter?
Well, it wouldn't happen this weekend. It would happen next weekend. Next weekend would be the first race that, long story short, in this lawsuit this past week, what happened on July 9th was that 2311 and Front Row Motorsports are suing NASCAR with an attempt to essentially over the new charter agreement about revenue distribution and all the things that came in that agreement. They were the only two teams that did not sign that agreement, right? That's just a quick backstory. They didn't sue NASCAR saying that about monopolization and not giving teams a fair and really just a more accurate say on their likeness and all these other things and yada, 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 right? Well, long story short, this week there was a suit filed to essentially allow them to continue to compete as a charter team until this was settled or dealt with in court. But they're currently suing NASCAR over the charter system and it not being fair. But they want to compete as a charter team until this gets settled. That doesn't really make much sense. So NASCAR and the judge ruled in NASCAR's favor. And starting next week at Dover, 2311 and Front Row Motorsports will now compete as, unless this thing gets settled in the next week, they will now compete as open cars, which means that they will get a third of the earnings they would get as a chartered car in each of those races. A third.
Wow.
Of the earnings. So think about this. You've got 17 events left in the season. The actual trial isn't until December. So I don't know what these teams do, but I don't know how you survive the rest of the season. And if NASCAR says, you know what, we're going to let you ride this thing out and see how you guys can continue to financially afford to exist till December, 17 races, only making a third of what you would make as a charter team. So that's what happened this week, and that would go into effect next week at Dover. And that's where we're at with this. You know, that was a major win for NASCAR, and now 2311 and Front Row Motorsports is going to get a major taste, you know, unless something gets settled. But if I'm NASCAR and I get that ruling, the only thing that would backfire is if NASCAR did go to trial and they lost, and they had to go back and pay all this money. But at the end of the day, Front Row Motorsports and 2311, they got to survive until then. And I don't know how you do that, making a third of the revenue and lasting 17 races doing that. Hey, and the legal fees of this damn thing.
They've got
we all forget that we all forget that NASCAR and 2311 Front Row Motorsports have two of the best sports attorneys in the country.
Man,
that's not cheap. It's like $30,000 an hour for these goons.
That's so much money. They've got. Hey, good thing MJ sold the Charlotte Hornets. I think he's got three some odd billion dollars burning a hole in his pocket, unless he's bet it all away, of course. But he's got some money in his pocket that might be able to help with some of those fees and maybe keep them afloat for a little bit. But that is going to be tough for them to overcome. for throughout the season. That is one of the more interesting things that's happening off the track right now in NASCAR.
I've never understood it, Jay.
I know you haven't. I know you haven't.
This is the most candid I'm going to be about this lawsuit. I've never understood this. I've never understood asking to be treated equally, but you're suing because you feel like you're not being treated equally after you file the lawsuit. Like I don't understand that. I never once thought that would go in the team's favor. I'm just really confused, and that's really all I can say on it.
Yeah, so let's focus back in over to Sonoma as Pat Jaggers from the Motor Racing Network joining us. And we have another road course, this one out in beautiful wine country. Shane Van Gisbergen has shown that he's very good on these courses, but so has Chris Buescher. Michael McDowell has performed fairly well at Sonoma over the last couple of years. Larson won it last season. What are you expecting to see over there in wine country this weekend at Sonoma?
Well, it's interesting, man. I was talking to AJ Allmendinger earlier this week, and just talking about the repave, and really, I think a lot of these guys are just happy to get off that street course and get back to a road course a little more forgiving. I think the thing you got to remember about road courses is that if these drivers make a mistake, they can recover, and there's really some runoff. When you go to a place like Chicago, there's not. There's no runoff. There's a wall. It's a street course, right?
And you saw it with Cody Ware.
You have to be extreme. Yeah, we saw it with the first 3 laps of the race where you had 6 guys in a pileup.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just these road courses are a lot more they're forgiving, and I think a lot of guys are ready to kind of get back to that. And when you think about this weekend, the playoff situation is really interesting. AJ Allmendinger's right there on the cutoff. He's a guy that got a 6th place finish last week. I think if the thing that he told us is that, they thought about coming in, taking tires, and they really felt like they could have carved through the field and maybe competed for a win, top 3 finish. But they said, you know what, we're going to stay out and, keep our tires and, really just grind it out. And they finished 6th. I think that team's having a lot of momentum, Jack. I don't know if they win this week. That's not a great sports talk take. But what I do know is that, AJ's aware that he has to win to get in. And I think that's a team you might see do something that isn't, status quo when you look at strategy. I think that's a team that's getting desperate. And I think they like this place in Watkins Glen as their best chances to make the playoffs. So that's the guy we keep an eye on this weekend. But, you brought up a couple names, man. And when you think about consistency, I think about Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott. They finished in the top 10 in the last 4 Sonoma races, which is the longest streak. The other thing that every time we seem to go to Sonoma, the guy that has really kind of stood out and stepped up is Chris Buescher. He's finished top 5 in the last 3 races, the longest active streak. And in the last 3 events, he's finished 2nd, 4th, and 3rd at Sonoma. So I think if you're going to start somewhere, you got to go with him if you're looking at somebody that hasn't won. Now, an interesting tidbit I do have for you, the last 3 events that were on road courses that Kyle Larson led laps, well, he went on to win. So if Young Money goes out there and leads laps on a road course, well, the last 3 have shown us that he's gone on to win. So just a few tidbits and a few things to kind of keep in mind. But if there's a driver that I think really needs to get things back on track this weekend, Jack, it's definitely William Byron. Since Mexico City 3 races ago, Byron's regular season points lead has shrunk from 67 to 13.
Wow.
So just a few different interesting storylines and tidbits to kind of pay attention to this weekend. A couple other crazy stats. Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick are both making their 200th NASCAR Cup Series starts this weekend. In history, 4 drivers have won on the 200 start, and the last to do so was Kevin Harvick at Watkins Glen in 2006. But another thing, I came locked and loaded this weekend.
I love these stats. I love them. I love it.
A lot of interesting stuff to kind of pay attention to this weekend. Shane Van Gisbergen won the pole the last 2 road course races, and the record is 3 by Jeff Gordon to go on to win the pole and win the race. That was done between 1998 and 1999. If Shane Van Gisbergen steals the pole and wins the race, he's the first to do so since Jeff Gordon in about 26 years. So that would be pretty insane if he could pull that off this weekend. So just a lot of things to keep in mind. That was a lot of information to throw at you and the fine listeners of Richmond. What I do know past Sonoma is that I'm ready to get up there, to Richmond and really experience that track. And once again, guys, tickets are still available. Go to NASCAR.com and /Richmond and make sure you check that out. Another great road course right now that usually is sold out, but still has tickets available. Is Watkins Glen, one of the best road courses and the fastest road course in the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. Just go to NASCAR.com/tickets and get your tickets today.
Hey, man, spoken like a true salesman right there. That was a 10 out of 10 sale. I mean, no notes on that. My last question for you on this Friday morning, Pat, is you kept mentioning this repave of Sonoma. I hear people talk about how they want Richmond repaved as well. Can you just kind of quickly go over what repaving does to a track and why it's so important? Unfortunately, Pat's call did drop right when I was asking about the importance of repaving, because Sonoma does repave. It got repaved, so it kind of changes the racing lines. And then at Richmond, we were talking with Lori Warren, the Richmond Raceway track president, and she was kind of talking about, no, it's not the asphalt. It was kind of joking around about that. But you always hear fans, because Richmond's asphalt is pretty old as well, how fans want that repave. And kind of from Pat's perspective, to see how repaving a track changes the dynamics of a track. Because Pat, so glad to get you back there after the call dropped. Repaving a track, you brought it up about Sonoma, and fans of Richmond always are talking about how they want to repave. How does a repave impact a track's line and just kind of how a track races?
Oh, it depends on the repave. Some repaves are good, some repaves are bad. You don't know until you go out there and have the finished product. I think a lot of people were really concerned about the North Wilkesboro repave, but that turned out to be a really super racy surface. And it just really depends. The opposite happened with that. They went out and tested it, and they said this is going to be one groove. You're not going to be able to do anything on it. Well, sure enough, year one, we saw guys with multiple grooves, the Longbury race in the track, and rubber got laid. And also, Jack, the big thing, you and I talk about this all the time, it's the tire, man. Yeah. At these short tracks, it's the tire. NASCAR is trying to figure this out. They're trying to figure out, you have a tire that's not as wide as what it used to be, not as big, not as heavy. It just depends on the tire and whether or not that they can go out there and come up with something that races better on these short tracks. I like that we have these different tire options. I think we're close, but I don't believe we're where we need to be to have a tire that continues to have fall off. So that's the thing. Repaves are fun and all. They're a lot of money, but until we get this tire situation figured out, Jack, if I'm a racetrack, I don't think I put the money and the investment into. I wouldn't. That's just me, to go out there and spend the millions and gazillions of dollars that it costs. It doesn't cost a gazillion, but all the money it does cost to put the efforts and the infrastructure into pulling off a job like that. I just wouldn't do it until the tire situation's figured out, especially with this car.
Interesting. I love that insight. Pat, thank you so much for weathering the call, disconnecting with us there, and have a wonderful Friday. We're just over a month away from you coming up and experiencing the great city of Richmond.
Absolutely. Michael McDowell wins this weekend. See you later.
Whoa, there goes Pat with a bold prediction. His guy, Michael McDowell, to win this weekend at Sonoma. McDowell is a good racer at Sonoma. Since February of 2022, he has an average finish of 4th. He's finished in the top 5 in 2 of the last 3 races at Sonoma. Michael McDowell probably gives you a lot of value, too, if you're into betting NASCAR as well. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside, be back to wrap up this week right here on 106.1 ESPN.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Golf season is here at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. Plan your next golf outing for your kids' athletic team, church group, or fundraiser online at huntinghawk.com. That's huntinghawk.com.
Your trash is treasure at CNC Colored Recycling. From copper wire to radiator ends, cans to lead batteries, CNC Colored Recycling will pay cash or check for your unwanted scrap metal. No load is too large or too small. Don't dump it, recycle it, and get paid at CNC Colored Recycling, just south of Maple Street on Route 1 in Ashland. Free local container service is available too. CNC Colored Recycling, open every weekday and a half day on Saturday. Check the latest cash scrap prices online right now at cccullet.com. That's CCCULLET.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
Robinson's Plumbing Service is celebrating the red, white, and blue throughout July by offering 10% off repairs or replacements of any water heater. Depending on the unit you choose, that's a potential savings of $100 up to $500. Mention promo code Red Hot Savings at the time of booking to claim this limited time offer. Get red hot savings on hot water heaters by booking your Robinson's Plumbing Service appointment by calling 794-0918. That's 794-0918.
Robinson's Plumbing Service is looking for great plumbing technicians to join the Robinson's Plumbing Service family. A prime candidate must value being on time, consider their work at craft, and have a great work ethic. Robinson's Plumbing Service offers a great benefit package, which includes health insurance, vacation, and a retirement plan. Submit an application online at robinsonsplumbingservice.com. That's robinsonsplumbingservice.com. Robinson's Plumbing Service is an equal opportunity employer.
Colonial Downs Summer Racing is now through Saturday, September 13th, with racing 4 days a week. Afternoon racing on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12:30 Eastern and twilight post of 4 p.m. Eastern every Friday. Join us on Saturday, August 9th for the Festival of Racing, featuring 7 stakes races, including the Grade 1 Arlington Million. For more information on Colonial Downs Summer Racing season, visit colonialdowns.com. That's colonialdowns.com.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Oh, I love this scene.
Yeah, man. I bet we could pull off a street race like this.
Dude, totally.
Hey, you know this is just a movie, right?
Whoa, what?
You try this in real life, you could kill someone or even yourself.
Life's not like the movies. Avoid a life-changing consequence and slow down, because this is one disaster you can't outrun. Speeding catches up with you. A message presented by NHTSA.
The Black Friday and July event from Dell Technologies is here with great offers on trusted technology. You'll also discover huge deals on new AI-ready laptops like the Dell 14 Plus featuring Intel Core Ultra processors starting at $699.99. Save on top accessories, plus enjoy fast, free shipping and other benefits. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Stretch your sports IQ from sideline to sideline, border to border with Matt Josephs, where local meets nationwide news. Buckle up for analysis that crosses every line. No passport required.
You know what this song reminds me of?
What?
Herbie Fully Loaded, the one with Lindsay Lohan. Great movie, by the way.
I guess.
Great movie. You know what's not a great movie?
What?
The experience that fans had when Urban Meyer was the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's a good one, actually.
Thank you. Look, I'm not always batting 1,000 on my segues, but that one right there. Cody Benjamin for CBS Sports, as we welcome you back here to Fitz the Bill. Cody Benjamin for CBS Sports ranked the top 25 worst NFL coaching hires this century, and Urban Meyer tops the list, and I don't think it's particularly close. A fun fact, he threw in an honorable mention of Bill Belichick with the Jets.
That didn't last long enough, did it?
Because technically he never coached a game.
Yeah.
So it was a horrible hire because the Jets weren't able to keep him in the building after getting him in the building. Urban Meyer ranks first, 2-11 record with the Jaguars. Bobby Petrino is the second worst coaching hire since 2000. He went 3-10 with the Atlanta Falcons. Number 3 is Cam Cameron who went 1-15 with the Dolphins. Josh McDaniels, who went 11-17 with the Broncos. Was that Josh McDaniels with the Broncos? No, it was with the Raiders when they were smoking cigars after he got fired. That was when Josh McDaniels with the Broncos is when they got Tim Tebow and he won a playoff game. Tim Tebow won a playoff game. That was weird. And number 5, another Broncos head coach, Nathaniel Hackett. That rounds out the top 5. If you're curious where some commanders checked in, commander coaches, Jim Zorn checked in as the 19th worst coaching hire since 2025. And Steve Spurrier checked in at number 20. Both of those were pretty bad. I don't think the Joe Gibbs hiring was good either. I think Dan Snyder's
it's not one of the worst. Though.
It's not one of the worst, but
didn't Gibbs go to the playoffs his second
he
stint?
He did, but it kind of felt like Snyder was using Gibbs.
I mean, well, obviously, but yeah,
felt a little icky.
For Joe Gibbs, it's definitely a step down for him, considering he went to those Super Bowls and won those Super Bowls.
But it was a step down for him in his moment in time too, when he was head of Gibbs Racing.
Yeah, but for what it's worth, I would never put him anywhere near those kind of lists.
That's true. All right, Nick Saban was ranked 24th,
which is actually, I think, a disservice, man. The more Nick talked about his experience with Miami, the more it wasn't on him. It was on like the leadership there, because he asked for a quarterback and they went out.
He wanted Drew Brees.
Yeah, he wanted Drew Brees and they didn't get him. They didn't get him for him. So he quit. So, I mean, he won one season. He made the playoffs, I think, with was it Fielder or JF Fielder or something like that? Was his quarterback?
Was that his quarterback?
He didn't have good quarterbacks. He had some bad quarterbacks.
For 2 seasons he was there.
Yeah.
Man.
So, I mean, I thought he did an okay job, all things considered, because again, at that level, he said this, and everybody else knows, you're only as good sometimes as your quarterback play. Not your quarterback, but the play of the quarterback. Yeah, because again, you can win with Dak Prescott. You can win with Patrick Mahomes, but the way you're winning and the levels you're winning at is totally different.
I was about to say, we don't want to rehash that. Dak Prescott.
I'm just putting it out there.
Baker Mayfield, you're winning in a different way with Baker Mayfield than you are with Lamar Jackson.
It's different levels to the winning, but nobody's going to fire you for having winning records, even if you don't have the necessary postseason play sometimes.
Unless you're Jerry Jones. He fired Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, and McCarthy had consecutive 12-win seasons.
So Mike McCarthy's era in Dallas was bookended with Dak Prescott injuries.
Yeah.
For I think it was 4 seasons in the middle where Dak was healthy. The Dallas Cowboys had the second best regular season record behind only the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And Jerry Jones was like, it's now granted, do I think the firing was right? Yeah. Do I think the subsequent hiring was wrong? Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it goes stale. Sometimes you can't get past a certain point and you get tired of it. But yeah, I sometimes I feel like Nick Saban gets a bad rap for some dysfunction in the front office.
Yeah, the Dolphins are so dysfunctional.
Have you seen him talking with Channing? Was it Channing Crowder? Because Channing was on his team.
Yeah,
and if you hear how they talk about those 2 years, even Channing doesn't seem like he's blaming him. He's like, yeah, I get it.
I think the most hated coach on this list is probably Bobby Petrino. For how he left Atlanta.
On so many levels.
What he did a note, right? Was he the one that just left a note that said like bye in the Falcons locker room?
Petrino's a funny guy, man. It's amazing that he's even allowed to still coach at a high level. I'm serious.
That's the Teflon man. But is he rolled up to a press conference once with a neck brace?
Yes.
And then it was found out that he crashed a motorcycle with his mistress.
Yes. That's him. That is the Bobby Petrino.
He leaves he does Atlanta real dirty by just leaving them in the middle of the night.
You smoked a NFL franchise in a major university in a major conference, and you still have a job coaching.
Where is he
at
now?
A high level? He actually
isn't he at a power conference school?
Dude, he made it back to Arkansas as the offensive coordinator or something crazy like that. But I think he I'm gonna check it now. But I think he got a head coaching job somewhere else.
He's so.
Or is he still the quarterback's coach?
He's a Teflon man. He is the quarterback.
Yeah, he's still the quarterback offensive coordinator at Arkansas.
He was at Missouri State for 2 years, Louisville for a bit. Man, After the Atlanta Falcons, he was with Arkansas, Western Kentucky, Louisville, Missouri State, and now he's been bouncing around as an offensive coordinator.
I mean, it's insane that he's able to get back into
what a guy
into that level.
What a guy. One of the names that wasn't on this list that I think definitely should be on this list. Lane Kiffin. I was going to go Jim Mora Jr. He coached a season with the Seattle Seahawks and he was the only coach in Seahawks history to be one and done. He lasted 1 year. They fired him. They brought in Pete Carroll. They saw the writing on the wall. Jim Tom Sula of the 49ers was ranked 6th.
He should be on there.
5-11. That was yikes. He took over.
Couldn't form a sentence.
He couldn't just keep the momentum rolling.
Like he literally couldn't form a sentence. It was bad.
He was the offensive line coach, right?
Defensive line coach.
Defense. Yeah, that makes sense why he can't put together a sentence. Rod Marinelli.
Don't do that.
Repeated head trauma.
No, man.
That's what I mean.
He wasn't playing.
At one point, he was probably a defensive lineman.
Probably wasn't nose tackle.
He looks like, with the last name Tom Sula, I imagine he took a lot of hits to the head. Rod Marinelli, the coach that took the Lions to 0-16, he's the 10th worst hire. Felt like he could have been a little bit higher for the fact that his team did not win a single game. But overall, pretty good list from Cody Benjamin. It's always funny looking at the horrible hires we've had in our past. All right, folks, stay locked on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. We are the spot where RVA talks sports. Braves baseball tonight, and between now and then, RVA's best sports talk. Matt and Bob will be out at Colonial Downs, a 4 p.m. post time tonight. Head on out to Colonial Downs out in New Kent. Say hey to Bob and Matt as they're doing their show live from Colonial Downs starting at 3 p.m. So go on, say hi. It should be a fantastic time. And for now, that's going to do it for Fitz the Bill. We'll be back on Monday, same time, same place. Matt Josephs will take over from Colonial Downs at 3.
Statewide Sports Talk starts here. Border to Border with Matt Josephs on W291CL Lakeside Richmond and WURV HD2 Richmond. Bold takes, no filter. Lock in on 106.1 ESPN.